Hi, welcome to Allbrands After Hours with me, Courtney Douthat. Welcome to the show. We hang out and craft together. Today we'll be etching glass with our Brother ScanNCut. Let's do it. Alright, let's jump into it. So, there's a few things that you're going to need. Of course, you're going to need your cutting machine. Kind of a given. You're also going to need etching cream. They come in different sizes. I personally always use the Armor Etch. That is a brand. There are different brands out there. This is just the one that I like, that I've used, and I'll have everything listed down below. So there's the etching cream. There are brushes. I usually tell people if you're doing a large area, okay, a large brush is great, but also make sure you have a small brush. If you're doing just a very delicate design, then a small brush will get you just fine. But it's nice to cover a lot of area with this large brush and then go back into the little areas with the detailed brush. So, all right. So we are going to need, of course, vinyl. This is pressure sensitive vinyl. So paper backing. So PSV. Think there's heat transfer vinyl and there's pressure sensitive vinyl. Pressure sensitive vinyl will make a decal for like a wall. You could put it on a wall or put it on a cup or something like that. Heat transfer vinyl, that's something you want to add an iron to, you want to add heat to. So like a shirt, to do like an applique or just a vinyl shirt, anything that you want to add heat to is going to be your heat transfer. Pressure sensitive, anything you don't want to add heat to. So if I was making a decal to go on my machine, I don't want to add heat to that, so pressure sensitive vinyl. So pressure sensitive vinyl, and then we're going to use transfer tape. This is awesome. And then some gloves, because this is a chemical, guys. So we got to be extra cautious. So I do recommend gloves. And of course, whatever you're etching on. So glass. What I've noticed is that cheaper glass etches better. So Dollar Tree's glass or anything like that that's just a cheaper made glass does really, really well with etching. I've noticed things like Pyrex, they'll etch. It's just not as crisp as I like, and I usually have to leave it on there a little bit longer, so it will etch and it will do well. But man, that cheap glass is made for etching. So we're going to be doing something like this, and I'll do a close-up picture so you guys can see. Oh, you know what, if I hold it in front of me, you can hold it in front of my hair. There you go. We did a fleur-de-lis on this cup, and it was really, really cool. All right, so now we have all of our supplies, but we should probably get the image that we're wanting to etch. Now, I always recommend if you're going to do, like say we did our wine glass right here. Well, I'm going to pick a design. I could do one all around or something like that, or I could do one right here, layer them however I want. Or I could do a reverse etch and have my image and everything else be etched. So I'd have the image be clear. So instead of like, let's see if you can see it. So instead of like on our wine glass right here, instead of just the fleur-de-lis being etched, I could have just had the fleur-de-lis blocked out and then etched the rest of the glass. I've seen that. That's really cool. So let's go ahead and go into our machine and pick our design. Alrighty, so I always tell people, go in your machine. You have so much built in. Yes, we have a ScanNCut. We can bring anything under the sun in, but it's nice that we already have stuff on there. Alrighty, so I'm going to go here, and I'm just going to look around and click around. Let's see. Let's go here. Oh, see, look, there's that fleur-de-lis that I got for my other, there we go. There's the fleur-de-lis that I got the other day to put on that wine glass that I just showed you. So there's that one. It's built into your machine. Click around. Again, you have so much built into your machine. All right, let's, we wanted to do flower. We have a ton of flower. That's kind of cute if we did that. You know what? I really like this flower. I don't know. We're in spring. It feels fun. All right, so we're going to select that. Now, our glass, if you look at your glass and kind of measure out the area that you want, I don't really want to go bigger than a 3x3, so I'm actually going to shrink that down just a bit. Oops, sorry about that. No, I want to go bigger. Then, of course, your machine wants to remeasure like breathing, so if you notice while I'm selecting that height, that it's also changing my width because it does not want to distort this image. So it's automatically doing them for you because your machine wants to go like breathing. I could probably go a little bit bigger. There we go. All right, we're gonna hit OK. Now, it's giving you the multiple pieces of this design. So if I was to select this one, it would give me the outer bit. And then if I select this one, it'll give me that little inner bit in case I wanted to do them in different colors. Well, I actually want to do them together. So I'm gonna select both bits. We're gonna hit OK down here. And then we're gonna hit set to set it on our mat. Well, now she's perfectly the size that I want, and she is ready to cut. So I'm going to say, okay, please select and cut. Alrighty, now we can't hit start yet because we haven't loaded our mat. Sorry, we got our vinyl, our pressure sensitive vinyl, which means it has a paper backing. I have a hard fast rule, only paper that goes on any mats is the blue low tack mat. I don't like to put paper on anything else. So this is considered my paper mat. So we're going to take our vinyl paper side down onto our mat, and then take my brayer. Someone asked in the last video if the brayer comes with machine. It doesn't. It's an item that you have to buy separately. And again, I link everything in the description box. That way you guys know exactly what I'm using, so you don't have to go searching around a billion places like I used to have to do. It's all linked, the exact one that I use. Okay, so Courtney, why do you even use a brayer? Great question. Well, I like it, especially with the low tack mat, because it makes sure that my image is really on there very well, especially if my mat's not as sticky as it used to be. It's just it's like a little steamroller. Alrighty, so we're gonna take our mat and we're going to load it into our machine. Boop. With that button right there. And then if you notice, I always hold the bottom of my mat. I'm not holding it, but I kind of prop it up. Whenever you load, you're not going to want to like shove it in or anything like that, or mess up in here. One, because that's a roller and it will roll your finger if you get too close. I might have gotten my hair stuck in it one time, to be honest. So just, give her a little support back here and then you're good to go. All right, so we are loaded in. So the blade I'm going to use today is my blue auto blades. This is for vinyl. It does come in the vinyl kit, and again, I link everything down below, but it does come in the kit. So if you're doing a lot of vinyl, then it's great to invest in. If you're not doing a lot of vinyl, you can still do this. Just use your black auto blade that came with your machine. It can do it as well. The blue vinyl blade just gives a crisper cut. So if you're doing a lot of vinyl, it's very good for very detailed images. But again, if you don't, then you can use your black auto blade. So there we go. Alrighty, so I'm going to put my blade in, drop her down in there, lock her in. Alrighty, now before I hit start, there's one crucial thing that I have not done yet. I'm going to have to come to this wrench right here. And then I'm going to scroll down one, and I am going to turn half cut on. Half cut allows the machine just to cut halfway through this material. Vinyl is two parts. There is the backing part, well, pressure sensitive vinyl. There's a paper backing and then the actual vinyl. With heat transfer vinyl, there is a clear topper and then the vinyl. So they're both two parts. So we're going to want to do a half cut. So we're going to hit OK. And then we are good to go. Let's hit start. Just going to my material and testing it. Seeing how thick is this material, where does that second part start, because she doesn't want to cut through that second part because we are doing a half cut. And she's only going to cut through that top layer for me. It's what used to be referred to as a kiss cut. Same concept, it's just a kiss cut. Look at her go. I love auto blade. Okay, she's done. She is telling me, do you want to go to the next part? Do you want to finish? Because remember, this was a two-part, but we selected both parts, so we're good. So it would just bring you back to this home screen. So she's done. So let's go ahead and we're going to unload our mat. Okay. And I'm going to take this off my mat. Make sure I put my protective sheet back on wherever it went. All right, and then let's weed out our vinyl. Now, what I usually recommend is when you do cut your image, try to leave some vinyl around it. So try to thin your item, just so it gives it protection once you put it on your image. So you can kind of protect it from accidentally spilling out etching cream over your design. So if you do, it's protected. I'm just going to put some tape because I completely forgot to do that. All right, so let's weed out. I'm going to switch you to this camera and see if it works a little better. I'm going to grab my weeding tool right here. It's just like a little hook. It looks like a little dental hook. What I'm actually going to do is kind of pick like this the parts that I want to take out. So things that I don't want to do. Usually you would be leaving this part if you were doing a vinyl decal, but we actually want the reverse of it. So anything that you want to be etched on your material is what you should be taking out right now. Well, I want this flower to be etched on there, so I'm taking that flower out right now. How cool. Oh, I'm loving it. All right, and then we're gonna don't forget to take out our little center of our flower. How cool! Oh, I love it. Spring is in the air. Alrighty, so let's take this. Now what you should be doing with your glass is you should be getting an alcohol wipe or some alcohol and just, you know, cleaning it off a little bit before that. I completely forgot that, so we're not doing that step. But usually that is what you're wanting to do. Alrighty, so let's take our transfer tape. I'm just gonna cut a piece of it. And what this is going to help me do is just transfer my image onto my cup. And remember, once you do use this transfer tape, make sure that you put it back on its sticky backing because it is reusable. All right, so just going to stick this on here. And then take my scraper tool just to make sure it transfers on over. And I kind of do like to make it a little bit bigger so it sticks to my table. So that way when I'm doing like this, it's not sliding around like crazy. All right, there we go. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna take off that paper backing now. Should just come off, you know, pretty easy, especially if you're using a scraper tool. If you notice the center of my design wants to stay on that paper, so I'm just gonna come close to it and kind of push it onto that paper. There we go, and I'm just pulling that thing off. Now we have our vinyl on our transfer tape like this, and we are ready to put it onto our cup. All right, now this is where you're gonna decide, okay, where do I want it on my cup? Do I want it over here? Do I want it over here? Do I want it over there? Wherever I want it. I'm gonna randomly kind of by eye measure this out. Let's see, let's lay it like this. Ooh, you know what? It holds it in place for me. Alrighty, let's see. Just going to place that on there. Doesn't really have like a perfect center. Now, something I do recommend is when you're putting your vinyl down, put it in the center and then rub your finger like this, and then you can start pushing it outwards to be able to put it on there. Because since this is a curved image, we've got to make sure that we're also curving, that we're allowing for that curve. That way our vinyl is sitting flat and you're getting a nice crisp line with no bubbles or anything. Now, if it does kind of crease on the outer parts, that's fine. And sometimes I take my scissors and I will cut the vinyl if I'm doing a rounded image, so that way it can get on there a little bit better. And then I'll work in sections to make sure that it lays nice and flat. Now see how here I'm starting to get like a little bubble? That's fine, or like a little crease. I'm gonna make sure that crease is in that vinyl and not near this edge right here. See how it's right there? So this is perfectly flat. This has got a little crease to it, totally fine. I want that crease far away from my image. Now, if you notice, I am pulling up my transfer tape a little bit by little bit as I go around because I am layering some of the vinyl underneath each other, especially if I cut it. Well, I don't want that that transfer tape to get stuck in there, so I'm kind of just pulling it away when I'm done with that section. Alrighty, so I've got my image on here. I don't know if you can see it very well. So I've got my image on here, and if you notice, some of the vinyl is kind of creased up. That's because I wanted to make sure that everything that's right on the edge right here, right on my design, is flat. If it's creased up over here, it's fine. The etching's not gonna go over here. So I wanna make sure that this is laid flat. So especially since it is a curved item, bend your vinyl, work with your vinyl, get it to get your image laying flat, because that is what's more important. This part is more important than this over here. You know, all this on the outer edge. So stop touching my glass, Courtney. You don't want to touch it because you want the area to be clean for the etching cream to go on. So we've got that on there, and what I'm actually going to do, if you had masking tape, that would work even better, or something like that, or painter's tape. I'm just going to take some clear tape that I have, and I am going to go around the edges where it's really close to the edge of my design, to where the glass is, just to give me an extra layer of protection from it possibly etching something I don't want it to etch. So masking tape, painter's tape, I prefer for this kind of thing. I don't have any on me, so we are going to make do with what we have here, people. Alrighty. Now, if you did cut your vinyl on the sides and there is a little gap, just go over it again with some tape, just to make sure that we have no whoopsies and we don't accidentally etch something we do not want to etch. Because you're going to be like, oh, I'll be really precise now. Just give yourself the insurance now. Alrighty, so I think that's good. Usually I try to go around the rim. Alright, we've got her all taped up and vinyl is on. So what I like to do is I like to go around with my scraper tool. Right here, my Brother scraper tool, and I like to make sure that everything is perfectly on there. Lay it down. Just going around because I don't want any little pockets where that etching cream could go underneath where I don't want it to go. So just coming on, making sure there's nothing, no possible whoopsies. Okay, there we go. Beautiful. So I'm going to shake up my etching cream because this one's pretty old. I've had it a long time, so I want to make sure that it's all nice and congealed in there. So I'm just going to do like this for a little bit. So I'm going to shake her up good, and then I'm going to go ahead and gently open her. Oh yeah, I'm glad I shaked her up. So there she goes. Now I'm going to put on a protective glove because I like my hands and I don't want them to get hurt. If I was smart, I'd wear 2 gloves right now, but you know. All right, so I'm going to start with this brush right here, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take it from the cap, is I'm going to put a little etching cream on my brush, and I'm going to start jabbing it onto my design. And we'll do close-up cameras so you guys can see. All right, so we're taking some of it. Now try to avoid the edges as best you can, just to give yourself a little insurance, and I need to use a little bit more. There is a debate on how much to use. That is your personal choice, but you do want to make sure that you've got it completely saturated on there. A nice even layer. That way you don't have, more etched in an area than the another area. So I'm just going around my design, being super duper careful to try to not get it on the vinyl. I'm doing a terrible job at that. But I just want to make sure that I've got enough product on there and it's evenly on there. I have a problem of going hand in hand. All right, I think I've got on it. Now there is a debate as to how long to leave it on there. It depends on your type of glass. Like I said, the Dollar Tree glass, cheaper glass etches better in my opinion. Put this there. Etches better in my opinion, and it etches faster. I think if it's a high quality glass, then it's going to need a little extra time to, eat away at it and everything like that. I usually at least try to leave it on there for about 10 minutes, give or take. Some, again, depends on the glass quality. Sometimes it's a little bit shorter, sometimes it's a little longer. And if you're consistently using the same type of glasses, you'll see. You'll kind of guess from how long. If it took, 10 minutes last time, but you felt like it had a few more minutes on there, well, then note that mentally. You can always go back and add a little bit more, but note that for next time. Or if you're noticing, okay, it really etched on there, but I prefer a lighter etching, so not as opaque etching, well, then decrease your time. But if you really wanted a dark etching, we'll increase your time. So you can kind of play around with it that way to see what works best for you. Now, things that I love to etch are, oh, you know what? I forgot to set a timer. Set a timer for 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Thank you. So there we go. Some things I like to etch are wine glasses because, I almost grabbed that one. Wine glasses because it's a great wedding gift. So you can get a thing of wine glasses and then etch their new last name on there or their initials on there and then give that as a gift. I've gotten so many thank you cards from brides that I've done that for as a wedding gift and they loved it. And it's something nice, and they always tell me that they use it for their anniversary, to toast on their wedding anniversary, because it has their initials. They got it as a wedding gift, so it's something nice. Oh, another great gift is if you take a casserole dish, a glass casserole dish, and I've done this before as Christmas gifts, you etch their name into the bottom of it, but reverse it. So looking in, it says their name. So then that way when they bring it to different, holiday parties like Christmas or Thanksgiving, it's easy for them to get their items back because it has their name on it. And then if you get one of them that has the plastic covering on it, you can use pressure sensitive vinyl to write their names. And then if they have a carrier case, you can use heat transfer vinyl to heat on that, or you can embroider it onto that. So all 3 pieces of their casserole dish have their names on it, so they can easily get it back for holidays. Again, because if the lid goes missing over here, the bag goes over here, well, they're going to be like, oh, there's the Douthat's bag, there's the lid on it, and you can get all your pieces back. It's also a really, really, really great gift. Not even just for newlyweds. In general, those are really good gifts. So, love doing that. Another thing that I do etching cream on is like in my greenhouse where the light shines through. I did a little one that just said Courtney's Garden, and I etched it on there so the light comes through, and it's really pretty. But again, it's whatever you like, whatever you prefer. It's kind of anything that's glass, you can etch it. You can etch different kind of acrylics as well, so it's not just glass, you can etch acrylic. So plastic might not go so good. I wouldn't recommend trying to etch plastic. I think even on the bottle it says, yeah, Armor Etch will not etch plastic or some Pyrex. So there you go with the Pyrex. Again, because it's high quality, nice glass. It might do it a little bit, but it's not going to give you as crisp of one as you want. So again, cheap glass for the win. And again, warning, be careful with this. Is a chemical. It's eating away glass. Don't touch your hand, your face. Try not to get it on anything. So I noticed in the last video, a lot of you were telling me where you're from. You were just saying hi, you enjoyed the video. So I thought it would be great just take this moment real quick to come say hi to you guys in the comments real fast. So we have Beverly. Hello, Courtney. Another great video. I really like the projects that came with the ScanNCut. It didn't come with the brayer tool, ? Thanks for sharing. Keep the videos coming. Thank you, Beverly. Beverly is on a mission to watch every single one of my videos. And I know this because she'll comment on them. And I'm like, wow. And she even did say, I'm watching every single one of them slowly. So thank you, Beverly. You are so kind. You're so nice and uplifting. And I really appreciate that. Let's see. We have Stella. How do you store your mats, 12 by 12 and 12 by 24? So Stella, I actually have a drawer. It's the Alex drawers, and I'll put a picture of them on screen, that it's wide enough to hold my mats. So I leave them in there flat. Your ScanNCut mat does, I'm trying to see if I have one right here. Your ScanNCut mat does have a little opening right here that you could store it on the wall. Just however you're storing them, store them flat. You don't want to bend them or roll them up in any kind of way. Just store them flat like that, so you can hang it on a wall with a command strip or a little hook, or you can store them in a drawer or something like that, as long as it's long enough to store your mats without rolling them. Cheryl wrote, which number are numbers for the ScanNCut hookup to the XP1? So the XDX 225, the XDX 230, the SDX 325, and the XDX 330 all will hook up to a XP machine and a Stellaire. So if you have a Stellaire or an XP machine, you're good to go. So we have Linda says, hi from Eastern New Mexico. Hi, Linda. And guys, when you put a comment in there, I personally come and respond to them. So, and we have Joanne Banco. Hi, Joanne. She says, love your videos, Courtney. So helpful and fun to watch. Thank you, Joanne. I mean, if you've ever seen one of Joanne Banco's videos, her education is amazing. Love, love her. She does a show called Let's Go Sew, and it's fabulous. So I highly recommend that. So we have Denise that says, hi from Sarasota, Florida. We'll be going to Florida this summer. I'm excited. Ooh, there's our timer. So we're going to hit stop on that. So thank you to everyone that's left a comment. I'm sorry if I didn't show it today. There was quite a few of them, but please leave comments, because I really want to do a question and answers video where I just go through all your comments and answer them. We are still going to do a live video, just got to work on exactly when and how and what, all those good things, but I do want to do those. Very, very excited. All right, so I think we're good. I think she's ready to go ahead and get washed. So what you're going to do is you're going to run this under running water. And I usually recommend to get some kind of brush, and you're going to kind of wash away with the brush. You do not want to touch this with your hand. Do not wash it off with your hand. So I'm going to put the glove back on, and I'm going to use my brush And I'm actually going to hold it like this over the water so my hand doesn't get near it. But I am going to wear my glove, and I'm going to wash it off and use the brush to make sure I get everything off. You're going to take a clean paper towel, lightly go over. Don't scrub, because you don't want to accidentally move any of that, that etching cream somewhere it shouldn't be going. So, and this is another reason that we put the tape around and kind of protect the rest of our glass, because running water, it's going to be running off. So I don't want any etching cream to accidentally run off into the sides and possibly etch something I do not want it to etch. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and run it under a sink. I will be right back. All right, so we have our glass right here. I'm just drying her off because, of course, water got all into it. And what I actually do is I run it under the sink like this. That way the water's going this way to the end of my glass and it's not coming back to my stem. So that's why I usually put tape around the rim and I close it and do like this. Alrighty, so we are ready to take off this vinyl on this tape. Alright. Oh my goodness, it's so cute. This is gonna be my gardening wine glass. Gardening drink wine. Oh my goodness. I don't know if you guys can see it too well. There we go. There you guys can see it a little bit better on that camera. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. Alright, now I'm just gonna take that center away. Oh my goodness, how cute did that come out? I don't know if you guys can see it too well because it's a clear backing. There we go. How cute did that come out? Oh my goodness. And think if we could do like another big one on this side and then we could do small ones around, like how cute would that be? This came out so good. Now if you notice, the flower I did is way darker than the fleur-de-lis that I did because I left the etching cream on longer. So again, you can kind of play with your etching around like that. I'm very excited about this. This was a fun one. If you guys have any questions, please leave them down below. We are doing a question and answer video, so we might include your question in that video. I'll also just answer them too, but we might include that in the video, so leave your questions down below. Thank you to everyone that has watched and subscribed and liked and comment. This is the easiest way to know that you guys still want these videos, so thank you so much. Don't forget to visit our website, allbrands.com, where we have all these products on there. We are a family-owned and operated business, so we truly appreciate that. All right, guys, I'm going to go wash this out and possibly put something in it to drink tonight. Y'all have a good night. Bye, guys.